So the Gaza deal is now official, and I have to say it is a horrible deal. I understand why some people are saying that it's the best deal Israel is possibly able to get, and hence Israel is right to agree to it. And I understand why Netanyahu agreed to it, and I'll explain that later. But make no mistake, this so-called breakthrough brokered deal by President Trump with Netanyahu and signed off by several Arab states, including Qatar, is a horrible deal, as it continues to set dangerous precedents, not just for Israel, but also for America and the whole freedom-loving world. Even if this is part of some 4D chess move of Trump's, as Trump and Netanyahu tricked the world before the direct strike on Iran in that 12-day direct war. And yes, we are still clearly heading towards another inevitable round of fighting against the Islamic Republic of Iran and to destroy the Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, right? We're still going to be doing that within the next few weeks or months. Even with that, this is still a horrible deal. Even if Hamas rejects it, which it most probably will, the very terms on the table of this deal signal weakness, not strength. It legitimizes bad actors, empowers our enemies, and once again ignores the root causes of the conflict against the whole freedom-loving world, not just against Israel. This is basically classic Netanyahu. Agree to a bad agreement, betting that our Islamo-Nazi enemy will say no to it. This agreement ignores the fundamental facts driving the conflict, and hence continues to kick the conflict bucket down the road until the next round. It treats symptoms, not causes. It offers temporary calm while leaving in place the political and ideological structures that appeases our enemies and will produce more terror against all of us, because Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey are all Muslim Brotherhood, not just Hamas. To our Islamo-Nazi enemies, staying alive without losing land allows them to feel victorious and empowers them to just plan the next round of terror against us. Even if Hamas is not in Gaza, Qatar knows it can use Gaza in the future against us or anything. Qatar's role should make everyone uneasy. Qatar is the Muslim Brotherhood, an organization aimed at destroying the whole freedom-loving world in the name of Allah. And also they are responsible for the October 7th massacre against us as a major funder of Hamas. President Trump forcing Netanyahu to apologize to Qatar without forcing Qatar even to apologize to Israel is an absolute disgrace and a stain upon the Trump administration. Worse, the deal completely sidesteps the undeniable reality of the genocidal indoctrination taking place in United Nations funded schools throughout Judea, Samaria, Gaza, and even in Jerusalem, all funded by Western donor nations to the United Nations. So no, this deal doesn't deal with that either. Having a group of Arab states take over Gaza does absolutely nothing to stop the 1,400 plus year Islamic jihadi ideology we are all up against. It just puts a new face on the same threat that will continue to try to kill us and destroy the whole West. To paper over those facts in exchange for a ceasefire and, in Trump's word, a peace deal for the Middle East, is to seed the next round of conflict and ignore its core causes. Equally dangerous is continuing to treat the Palestinian Authority as if it is different than Hamas, if changes are made, obviously. Netanyahu knows changes will never be made to the Palestinian Authority, and yet even the Trump administration is continuing the facade about its potential, the Palestinian Authority, to lead a future potential Palestinian state. All horrendous facades. This agreement looks, in the worst light, like kicking the can down the road for a hostage release now. That is not peace. That is just a postponement plus normalization that endangers all of us. There's only one deal worth making that should have been made since October 8th. President Trump, so once he became president, pressuring Qatar to force Hamas into a full surrender, releasing all of our hostages unconditionally, and beginning to implement his Gaza immigration plan. Anything less than that is just more dangerous diplomatic theater. That is the only way you deal with evil, which is not only about protecting Israel, but also the whole freedom-loving world. If Netanyahu is betting on rejection by Hamas as a political trap, that is a gamble with high stakes and uncertain payoff. And even if they say no, this is still a troubling deal. We all count on Hamas saying no, But even so, it is still a horrible deal. And if Hamas accepts, we risk legitimizing arrangements that will breed tomorrow's terror and other Arab actors taking control in Gaza. Either outcome demands clearer, tougher policies, not more morally bankrupt Western diplomacy that ignores reality. We should be seeking an outcome that sends a clear message to the Muslim leaders behind the 1,400 plus year Islamic jihad that endangers us all. They pay a steep price for trying to kill us and for trying to destroy Israel and the West. Anything else is just appeasement, but the West is still too ignorant to understand this. Do I think Hamas will agree to the deal? No. But even so, this deal highlights the weakness of even the very strong and very Israel-supportive Trump administration. This war will only end with our total victory and, yes, making Gaza Jewish again, because our enemies will never stop trying to destroy us. And that's the only way to protect ourselves. That hard truth can no longer be ignored. Evil must be called out for being evil and stopped, period. So everyone, strengthen your faith in God. That day will come when things will be better, hopefully sooner than later, because again, our enemies will never stop. Having made that all clear on why this is a horrible deal, now I will provide my analysis on why we should still have a positive outlook moving forward, even though, again, this deal shouldn't have been made. Let me first break down why Netanyahu and his team signed off on this deal, even though, as I explained, it falls far short of what Israel needs or the world needs. And this is knowing, again, that Hamas might still very well reject the deal. While I wish Netanyahu had fought for a much stronger outcome, the truth is Netanyahu is the best realistic prime minister we have right now in Israel, even though we need better. Any of the other party leaders, realistically, who could be prime minister with a coalition government in Israel, would have totally capitulated and, in a sense, surrendered to Hamas, endangering Israel tremendously. That's just the reality. This is the best prime minister we could have had with the government. Reason number one, he took it. The deal checks off Israel's 5 core demands. Number 1, the return of all hostages. Number 2, a demilitarized Gaza. Number 3, no Hamas in control. Number 4, no role for the Palestinian Authority. And 5, most importantly, no Palestinian state right now. That's the deal basically agrees to all those things. If that's not truly enforced, then in theory, this deal aligns with Israeli government policy, but that's a very big if. Reason number 2, Netanyahu agreed to it, political unity. By agreeing to a deal that ensures the return of all of our hostages, again, if it actually is implemented, Netanyahu neutralizes a massive political weapon being used by the political opposition in Israel to divide the country. The hostage issue has been politicized from day one of this war, not to help the families or free our hostages, but to topple Netanyahu and his government. This deal takes that issue off the table because it shows all of Israel that Netanyahu is doing everything to get all the hostages home, and it restores internal unity, at least temporarily, until they came up with the next campaign. Reason number 3, Netanyahu agreed to it. Hamas is now isolated, not Israel. Hamas is cornered. The Arab states, including Qatar, Turkey, and Egypt, all Muslim Brotherhood countries, support this deal. If Hamas accepts it, then Hamas disappears from Gaza. If Hamas rejects the deal, it stands isolated and exposed even within its Arab world. This is a strategic win for Israel, no doubt, but it's still not enough because it's only a short-term win. Because as I already mentioned, Qatar, Turkey, and Egypt are all Muslim Brotherhood countries with the same exact genocidal Islamic ideology as Hamas that the world still ignores. So removing Hamas from Gaza does nothing to end the war aims of Qatar, Egypt, Turkey, and the Muslim Brotherhood countries in their continuing trying to destroy us and to destroy the freedom-loving world. Reason number 4, Netanyahu agreed to the deal. The bigger picture, Iran and Hezbollah. Israel and the United States are both preparing for the next major confrontation against Iran, military operation, and to go in and destroy Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. And when that time comes, and it's coming soon, Trump and Netanyahu want Gaza on a low flame, not on the all-consuming fire it is now. This deal, even though horrible, buys them time to do just that. It clears the decks, it lets the IDF and our government focus on the greater existential threats that Iran still poses and that a growing Hezbollah in southern Lebanon still pose. But, and this is where the real problem lies, this is all short-term thinking. The long-term reality still makes this a horrible deal. Even if Netanyahu checked off all those 5 demands that he set out for the government, and even if he buys some tactical breathing room in order to go back on the attack against Iran and Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, this deal is fundamentally flawed. Again, why? 1, Qatar and the Muslim Brotherhood remain legitimized as a partner for peace, according to Trump and the whole world, while they continue to fund terror and poison the West and destroy America from within. Number 2, the core ideology of Islamic Jihad, over 1,400 years old, is untouched, undeterred, and emboldened. No peace deal would ever change that. So Hamas is taken care of, and they can't use that, but they do have everything else. Number 3, the narrative of a Palestinian state, a state built on terror, lies, and blood, is still lingering in the air, waiting to be revived by the West or our own weak leaders if the political left in Israel happen to return to power in future elections. Now, I've mentioned this before, Netanyahu's United Nations speech. If you listen closely to that speech at the United Nations, you might have heard something new. That was Netanyahu's first ever attempt to destroy the Oslo peace process paradigm. Netanyahu said out loud what we've all known, but was the first time he was saying it. Number 1, 90% of Arabs in Judea and Samaria and Gaza supported the October 7th massacre. Hence, this is not a war against Hamas. This is a war against all those who self-identify as Palestinians. Number 2, the Palestinian Authority is no different than Hamas. Same strategy to destroy us and kill us. And number 3, there will never be a Palestinian state. For Netanyahu to have said those 3 things publicly to the world is huge. If that's his new official diplomatic doctrine, then this deal, bad as it is, shows that at least Netanyahu is finally diplomatically making the baby steps in the right direction, all while still acknowledging that this deal does little in achieving this new positive diplomatic direction, as it still does not fix the fundamental errors behind our conflict. Again, I'm a realist. I don't believe in fantasy peace agreements. I don't believe in moral equivalency with evil. And I definitely do not believe in giving away our ancestral homeland that God entrusted to us to get rid of evil, to give over this land to evil Islamo-Nazi terrorists in exchange for a very temporary quiet. Right? The realism is they're going to continue trying to destroy us. So in the end, we will return to Gaza, not as occupiers, but as Jews reclaiming our ancestral biblical homeland. And the genocidal Arab Muslim Gazans will immigrate to other places. That is inevitable. When? No clue, but it's inevitable. Because this is a forever battle against a demonic Islamic ideology that has no place in a civilized world. And that is the only way Israel will be protected, by fulfilling our mission as the Jewish people in the land God gave to us to root out evil in order to make this land holy. That's getting rid of them out of Gaza. That's getting rid of the evil in Judea and Samaria and all the land of Israel. So hold fast to your faith, to your emunah. Stay clear-eyed. Stick with us at the pulse of Israel. Even though this is a bad deal, we are still moving slowly but surely in the right direction. We just have to make sure we do not lose our way along the path. And that's why you stick with us at the pulse of Israel, where you get the belief-based, inspiring, politically incorrect truth. Sometimes it's good news, sometimes it's not good news, but we're going in the right direction. Am Yisrael Chai. If you are not yet a subscriber to our daily, belief-based, inspiring, politically incorrect, truthful videos about Israel, the Jewish people, and the freedom-loving world, what are you waiting for? Go to pulseofisrael.com and click to subscribe today. And yes, we are a donor-based operation. We need your donations for support in order to make these videos and get our videos seen and do all the work we do. So every once in a while, whether a large donation or a small donation, just go to pulseofisrael.com and click on the donate button. Shalom, everyone, and thanks for watching.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.